The reason you can't scale your ads is very, very simple. It's because you need to get more value out of a click and you just can't do it. You are struggling to scale because you can't afford to pay Google more money in order to get a higher CPA target and achieve a higher volume of leads. Remember, Google will only give you more traffic and impressions if you're willing to pay more for that traffic, and the only way to achieve that when using smart bidding is to increase your CPA target. But if you increase your CPA target, you're going to become unprofitable. However, I can guarantee you there are competitors in your space right now achieving way more leads and sales than you can, and they are paying Google way more for their sales with a much higher CPA target in order to get more volume. So why can they and why can't you? Well, today I'm going to solve that problem for you, and we're going to look at things way outside of the remit of just the Google Ads interface. Stay tuned. So where on earth do you start with understanding how to get to the root of this problem? Well, let's start with an illustrative theory so you can understand where I'm coming from. What I want you to do is take all of the sales revenue you have made through Google Ads specifically and divide that number by the total number of clicks you've generated through Google Ads as well. So divide your total revenue from Google Ads by your total clicks from Google Ads. Do this over a 3-month or 6-month or even a 12-month period of time. The number you get to from doing this exercise is known as your EPC, your earnings per click, which is quite a common metric in the affiliate space, where affiliates can actually measure how successful their promotions are against different things they're promoting for their commission by measuring how much money they make per click driven to a provider that they're selling on behalf of. So in affiliate spaces, it's pretty common, but I want to apply it to PPC for this very simple reason. This metric is the reason why you can't afford to scale your campaign. Say, for argument's sake, you generated £100,000 of sales last month from 30,000 clicks. That would make your earnings per click £3.33. However, what happens if your earnings per click goes from £3.33 to £5? What if your EPC figure was £5 earned per click? That makes a huge difference. What would it mean for your business if you could increase that EPC or earnings per click value? Well, it materially means you can scale your campaign much more effectively, because if you earn more per click, it means you can afford to pay more per lead, because you know the value of a click is worth so much more than it used to be. If your EPC is £3.33 and your competitors is £5, of course they're going to get more volume than you. They can afford to pay way more per lead because they make more money per click than you do. So let's solve that problem. There are 3 factors to be aware of if you want to increase your CPA target and spend more money to get more leads to grow more volume. These 3 things are: you need to convert clicks into leads more effectively, you need to convert leads into sales much more effectively, and you need to get better customer lifetime value. Starting with the first point then, how can you convert clicks into leads much more effectively? Well, as I said at the beginning of this video, it goes way outside of the remit of Google Ads. You need to look at your website. What you have to do is something called conversion rate optimization, or known as CRO. Now, this is an entire whole field of digital marketing. So what I want to do today is touch on some of the key things you should be looking for to increase the conversion of your website. The first thing you need to do is optimize the website above the fold. Now, what do I mean by above the fold? Well, what that means is it's basically the area of the website you can see before you scroll down. So if you hit your website on a mobile device, you'll see a vertical screen where you can just basically see the content before you scroll, and the same goes for desktop devices as well. You see the content before you scroll. It will be horizontal in a widescreen format. This is essentially above the fold. It comes from newspaper terms back in the day, but ignore that. This section is really important because when you get traffic through Google Ads, it's really fickle. The customer isn't bought into you yet. They have performed a search on Google, and all they have to do to see more results is to hit the back button if they don't like what they see. So you have to do things very quickly in a very short period of time to communicate to the customer they have to stay on your website. Number 1 is a strong and relevant, easily identifiable heading to tell the person, yes, I'm in the right place. For example, if you're an electrician in Liverpool, you could have the headline, "Reliable Electricians in Liverpool." That's fine. It covers all the bases. It tells the person the right place, the right service, and obviously a good, perfect kind of USP as well, that they're reliable. So that's covered off in a very short, very succinct, very clear to the point title. Up next, you need a very short description of your service, because once the person knows they're in the right place, they also need to know how your business specifically can help them with their problems, but in a very quick way, because of course, as I say, all they need to do is hit the back button to see more results. So what should this description look like? Going back to the electrician example, you could say something like, our certified electricians are qualified to take on jobs of all sizes. Something simple like that. Now that's just off the top of my head. If you sat down and thought about it for your business, I'm sure you could probably come up with better. But the point remains, you need to communicate with a very clear sentence or two exactly why the person should choose your business and how you can help them specifically with the problem they have when they clicked through to your website. Really important. And finally, of course, you need a good call to action. What do you want the person to do when they've confirmed they're in the right place and you're the right person? Well, you need that button. You need a clear button telling them what to do next. Maybe it's a call now button that just to click to call for mobile devices. Maybe it's a link to a contact form. Maybe it's a pop-up contact form. Whatever it is, you need to clearly say, here's what to do next. Here's how you take action, and make that extremely clear on the landing page above the fold. This is of course the most crucial part, but there's loads of other elements in CRO, conversion rate optimization, to think about on top of that. I won't touch on them in this video. I'll cover them in more detail in another video, but just off the top of my head, things like testimonials and reviews are really powerful. Repeating that call to action button throughout the site content as well, making it easy for people to get in touch or take action. No matter where they are on the page, they're not too far away from that call to action. So these are some very simple things you can do. As I say, it's an entire field of digital marketing, and I'm going to cover this in another video. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that video. The second 2 points I made, which are to increase your conversion rate of lead to sale and to increase the lifetime value, are basically tied together, because it all comes down to one solitary thing, and that is your sales ability. Now at this point you might be thinking, well, I'm not a salesperson, I don't care, because the person's typed something into Google, they want the service, my website has the service, why does it matter if I'm very good at sales or not? Well, unfortunately, in the world of sales, if you think like that, you are known as an order taker, which is not a positive thing. It's actually an insult in the sales world, because it just means you pick the phone up, and if the person wants to buy there and then, you take the order. But if they need convincing, if you need to explain the USPs and the benefits and basically sell to the customer, you can't do it. And that means you miss out on tons of revenue. And if your competitors are doing it successfully, what does that mean for you? It means you miss out, you keep your CPA target really low because you're getting less revenue for your sales. But before you start thinking, hold on, you're going to try and say I need to be the Wolf of Wall Street to become successful on Google Ads. Well, no, you're wrong. Now, of course, sales is a whole other subject, and it's something that I'm not going to cover necessarily. And it's a specialism and a skill that I actually really appreciate and respect. However, there are some basics you can do right that are nothing to do with selling, and a lot of businesses I speak to do not do these very, very simple things. The first one is, of course, to get back to people quickly. So many businesses mess this up. They get back to people the next day, within 24 hours, maybe hours and hours later after the inquiry. The saying goes, strike while the iron is hot. Go for the lead as soon as it comes in. I don't mean as soon as it comes in, immediately pick the phone up and go, yes, hello. Give it a few minutes, of course. You don't want to seem too desperate, but ultimately, the quicker you get back to your leads, the better, because of course you have competition. And with that competition, if they get back to the lead first, quite often what happens is the first responder gets the sale. That's not necessarily always the case, but it happens more often than you think. A lot of people aren't shoppers, they're just buyers, they want the service. They're convinced by the website in the first place to pick the phone up. They're not bothered about getting more quotes, so therefore they just go with whoever's got back to them. Just getting back to people quickly massively increases revenue for your Google Ads campaigns. And the second really important point I want to raise here is follow-up. Please do follow-ups. If you phone somebody, you have a conversation and they've not made their mind up and they're still in market, put a reminder in the calendar to call them back. Ask them during the conversation, hey, I want to give you a call back on this date. Can I give you a call back then? Is that okay, to see if you've made your mind up? Set those reminders and actually make the phone call. actually follow up with the customer when you say you will. If somebody phones in and they're not available and you say, I'm going to give you a call back, make sure you call them back. It's really important because, again, the better you are at doing this, and the point I mentioned before, the more revenue you make per sale, and it means you're really going to convert more leads into sales, and it will massively improve your Google Ads campaigns, and it will allow you to scale. And finally, the last thing you want to look at is your lifetime value, because as I say, it's intertwined with sales for a reason, and the reason is this. Say you have two competing car garages in Liverpool. One of them offers servicing and MOTs, the other one offers servicing, MOTs, brakes, tires, batteries, and all of the accessories for your car as well. Which one of these businesses is going to have the better lifetime value? Well, it's obvious the business offering more services will likely have better lifetime value because the customer can come back and take a number of services or products in future, as opposed to the business that offers just one thing per year. It makes perfect sense, and you need to think about this for your business as well. Because once you calculate how much lifetime value there is in a customer, when you start tracking that person all the way through the process year after year, how often they come back, how much revenue you've made from them, you can start to factor that into your Google Ads campaigns. You can start to say, hey, why am I only paying £10 a lead when actually I know this lead's going to be worth hundreds and hundreds over the years? I could be more aggressive and I could double my leads, and up front, I'll increase my Google Ads costs. Yes, but I know for sure, based on my business history, this person is going to come back time and time again, year after year, and I've basically built my business with more revenue as a result of doing this. It's a no-brainer to factor lifetime value into your Google Ads campaigns. Don't look at things month to month, think about longer term. And when you think about lifetime value and you go to Google Ads and you jump into your search terms report and you see all of your competitors and you see a bunch of people way more visible than you, this could literally be the case. It could just be the case they offer a better lifetime value than you do by providing more products and services, or maybe they actually convert leads better than you can as well. This is often the case because for them to get more visibility than you, it's more than likely they're on smart bidding as well as you are, and they're paying more per lead than you are, and they can afford to do so because they get more value from those leads. And then obviously there's strategies that play into that, making sure you build an email list so you can remind customers to come back to you year after year and time again about sending promotions, making sure they stay in the loop with your business and bringing them back into the fold much more cheaply than Google Ads, because the cost of sending an email is way less than the cost of generating clicks on Google Ads. To get the same person back into the fold again through a more expensive method doesn't make sense. So really stay on top of them, communicate with the customers over time, and over time eventually you will build up more lifetime value. Notice I've not mentioned anything about the Google Ads interface here. It's all about your business, and it's important to position your business to win and succeed on Google Ads to allow you to scale. If you don't think about these things at all, you'll be there twiddling your thumbs thinking, how can I get more revenue from Google Ads? How can I do this? I've played with everything on the campaign, but nothing's working. I can't seem to grow. What's going on? Think about your business. This is why I made this video. Just go back to thinking about those basics, and the number of accounts I audit where these questions haven't been answered or discussed, and all of a sudden ideas come to mind for the business owner and they start expanding and they change things and they work better on their processes, and all of a sudden I'm increasing the CPA target in their account because they can afford to pay more for their conversions. Magic. So the next time you're looking for some kind of keyword optimization or bid strategy or structure hack, then maybe just think about the business first and take a step back. However, if you do need help with your campaign structure, I made a video breaking down exactly how to structure your campaigns in the best way possible to succeed on Google Ads search campaigns, and you can watch that video because it's on screen right now.